Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
This segment is sponsored by QC Kinetics.
Hey guys, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today we're going to be hearing from our friends from QC Kinetics about how regenerative medicine can help you move better, feel better, and live better.
Brian, so regenerative methods, are they just for professional athletes?
No, it's not just for professional athletes, but we hear about it a lot in sports because those guys are stressing their bodies and get acute injuries or something that's a fresh injury. We see those patients here, but we also mostly see patients that have more chronic issues. They've been dealing with the bad knee or the bad shoulder for years, and now their life's not working. They can't play golf, or they can't play with the grandkids, or they just can't work. And so that's the lion's share of our patients are more chronic, but we do also see athletes of all levels, weekend warriors, all the way up to professionals.
It runs the gamut, all kinds of patients. When you're talking stem cells, are those therapies legal in the US?
Yes. Now, what we're harvesting when we use the term stem cells, they're mesenchymal stem cells from the bone marrow, and in the US, they need to be harvested from the patient. So there's a medical term for that, autologous. So we use autologous bone marrow aspirate here. We don't use cells that you get from the adipose tissue. That's another, or fat tissue. That's another place you can derive stem cells from. We don't do that here. We do bone marrow aspirate concentrate here.
Which leads me to another myth. Stem cells aren't just from embryos.
No, you're making them all the time. That's how your body heals itself. It's really important that those areas that your body's healing have good blood supply. So if you cut your skin, your body sends platelets and stem cells to that area to make new tissue, because those areas have great blood supply. But there are areas that don't have great blood supply, like the inside of our joints, and that's why we need to deliver those cells manually with a needle.
So Brian, are all regenerative procedures the same?
And so when you say procedures, yes, I am putting the same needle in the same joint space, so that aspect is the same. But we use different cells for each treatment. Sometimes we're using platelet-rich plasma. We've nicknamed that PRP. It's very popular, people have heard of it. But that is a specific cell that we use. We draw your whole blood, then we spin it in the lab and derive out the platelets, and we concentrate that to make it platelet-rich plasma. On a successive treatment, you may have what's called alpha-2 macroglobulin. We've nicknamed that A2M. That has a different job. It's going to lower inflammation, much like PRP, but it also puts a protective coating. We call that a protease inhibitor, but basically a protective coating on any healthy tissue that you do have to protect any cartilage that you do have from any breakdown of the inflammatory cycle. So those are two separate treatments. And then we have the bone marrow aspirate, where people kind of nickname that stem cells, but that's another treatment. So we're using pretty much those three, PRP, A2M, and BMAC, or bone marrow aspirate.
So when clients come through your door for that first consultation, is it a one-size-fits-all approach? I'm thinking not.
It's a one-size-fits-all in that I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to be quiet and let you tell me what you're dealing with, and then we're going to talk about the mechanism of injury. Did this just happen a week ago, or has this been the last decade of your life? And then we're gonna do a physical exam where I'm gonna want to see that body part move, see where the pain is, and then we're going to look at it with ultrasound and actually see what's happening on the inside. See what the tissue looks like, and then make a customized plan. Like, do you just need PRP? Is this an acute muscle injury or something that's outside of the joint? You may do fine with just PRP. If it's something inside the joint where you've really degraded the cartilage, we're probably going to need a BMAC to be part of that treatment. So in that aspect, it's very customized.
For those who are struggling with chronic pain and they're intrigued, their ears are perked up, where can they go?
Yeah, they can come see me right here in the clinic, and we'll talk about your specific problem.
If you want to learn more information, be sure to visit qckinetics.com/Myrtle Beach, or you can call 843-258-6059.
This segment is sponsored by QC Kinetics.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? When did you start painting? The whole story.
I have lived in Robeson County my whole life, and I credit my mother for my painting interest because she used to buy me paint by numbers. That's how I got started, believe it or not. It was Dr. Seuss paper dolls and paint by numbers, and that's how my art was started, and that's I never stopped.
Yeah. And where would you think you draw the most inspiration?
Oh, creation. Creation. God's world is so beautiful, and He inspires me. So.
Yeah, I can see you use a lot of I'm not a painter myself, so I probably don't even know the right verbiage for this, but you paint a lot of light. You can definitely see, working with light in your paintings, and I think it's so cool.
I love that. The painting light is my favorite thing. So I don't always get it, but I try. But I have lots of inspiration here at home. I live on a pond, and we have ducks and birds and the whole thing, the whole farm thing. So I'm pretty inspired here at home.
What kind of painting do you do? I know it's not watercolor, right? What do you use?
I would love to learn watercolor and plan to, but I am not good at watercolor, and I use oils, acrylics, pen and ink a lot, some colored pencil, mostly oils. The ones I've sold have almost exclusively been oils.
Very cool. Was there a moment after you've been painting for some time where you thought, wow, okay, maybe I'm pretty good at this. This could, this could be a thing for me?
Yes, but I always am very critical. I'm never satisfied. But at the same time, it's such a joy to do that it keeps me going anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, tell me where people can learn more about your art and purchase your art. There's a show coming up, right?
Several.
Wow.
In Robeson County is a great place for art right now because there are lots of wonderful galleries that are very busy. The Robeson Art Guild, I won first place at that show there that's still open. And Robeson County Arts Council is a wonderful place, very active. Inner Peace Gallery in Lumberton with Melvin Morris. Red Springs Art Space with Jeff and Irina Geller. All those places have shows coming up, and I try to participate in all of those. But I guess my heart is with the Carolinas Art Guild in Dillon. We have a fundraiser every year. It's Pause for the Arts, and it's a Humane Society of Dillon County fundraiser. And artists can sell their work there. So maybe we'll have that again in September, hopefully. I've sold several pieces there. I have really good luck there, and it's a good time.
That is awesome. Was there anything else that you want to mention about your painting or art or, yourself in general that you think people should know?
The most exciting thing that I've done in a long time was illustrate a book for my sister. She's a wonderful writer, and she wrote a book called Bunnies, Birds, and Puppy Tales. I have a copy always by my side. She wrote the book, I illustrated it, and we've had such fun with it. And those can be purchased on Amazon or through me mostly if you want a signed copy by her.
So cool. So definitely check it out. What was the title and the author for Amazon?
Bunnies, Birds, and Puppy Tales, and her name is Teresa Watts. It was very special, and she's written lots of things, but that's the first one she's published, so I'm excited to work on another one.
Well, good stuff. I appreciate you sitting down to talk with me.
I appreciate your asking me.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. I have an author in the studio. John, thank you so much for being here with me
Thanks
today.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's get right into it. You wrote this book called Visited Mom Today, and it's about your own personal experience with your mother, amongst other stories. Tell me all about it.
Sure. So my mother was diagnosed about 16 years ago with Alzheimer's, and for 13 of those years, she was in a memory care unit. And so the last 8 years, she also was nonverbal. And so I would take her to different areas in the nursing home, and I would have her sit with other residents, and I would talk to them. And these are a collection of the stories, of the sweet, poignant, funny stories that some of the residents and I had.
I feel like that's something you don't see very often when we're talking about this terrible disease. Are good fun moments too. So do you have anything that sticks out from the book maybe?
Well, first of all, that is exactly right. I think there's so much out there about the science, and there's so much out there about the symptoms and what to look for, but there's really not a human side to Alzheimer's or dementia, so I think that's sort of where that fits. There was one woman that really sticks out for me. She was a nurse in her real life, and when she became a resident at the nursing home in the memory care unit, she thought she was working as a nurse. So she would greet me every time I came at the elevator and tell me how my mother was doing that day, and then would take me, down the hall to check in, and she was just in her element. And really the key to having these discussions is really you have to step into their world because they can no longer step into ours.
That's such a good point. Well, how long did it take for you to write the book?
It was over a period of the 8 years. And what I did was, these were Facebook posts that I did. And so they really started out as just posts for my friends to read and hear what was happening with my mother, and these kind of funny, sweet stories. And over time, people said, you have so many of these, you should be putting them in a book or a collection. And that's really what made me do the book.
I love when there's stories like that where the stories are so good you have to write a book about it, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Well, I know somebody watching right now is going to want to know where they can find this.
Sure.
Where can they find the book?
You can get the book right now on Amazon, and you can just search for Visited Mom Today, and it should come right up.
Well, guys, one thing about me is my hair might be fake, but when it comes to products, I really love using things that are natural. So that's why today I'm joined by Nicole from Earthy Things. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
We got some soaps in front of us. I just want to take a sniff, but you go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so my name's Nicole. I own Earthy Things here at the beach. So I make natural soaps, body butters, herbal oils, lotion bars, just anything natural.
What started this? I feel like everyone has a story there.
So when my girls were young, they are 15 and 18 now, but when they were younger, I really got into, just the things that you're putting in your body, on your body, the side effects, all that good stuff. So I would always just try to find more natural ways. And then about 2 years ago, I saw a video of soap being made, and I was like, yeah,
I could do that.
I could do that, and I literally did. I made the list of all the things that I needed. I bought it all, and when I started out, it wasn't as glorious as it is now, but I kept going,
And look at you now. We have these gorgeous soaps, and I love the colors that you use too.
So I use natural clays as colorants.
Really?
Yes, so it's spirulina, charcoal, rose clay, turmeric, any kind of natural clays. And then I also incorporate, in the green one, there is real avocado puree, which is really good for your skin. In the multicolored one with the pink, there's banana puree. I use natural essential oils as scents, so yeah.
Love it. Okay, well, where can people find out more information and shop your stuff?
So I do have a website. It's Earthy Things with a Z.
Gotcha.
LLC.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram.
All that good stuff?
Yes.
All right, well, check her out, guys.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, today I'm so excited because I'm getting to sit down with Joyce from the Naomi Project. You are the founder and the executive director. Welcome to the show today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm really grateful to be here. Excited, really.
Me too. So tell me, you were just saying that you started this organization 18 years ago.
18 years ago, out of a need for women who needed a safe place to go once they left the shelter. The shelter leaves you for 30 to 60 days, and after that, most of the women have to go back to their abuser. So giving them a place to jump off, and that's what the Naomi Project does. We offer them a year-long stay to be able to get back on their feet with resources and encouragement and mentors and just a program that they can work to be able to heal, seal, and move on.
It's organizations like the Naomi Project that fill in those gaps.
Yes.
And there sadly is a need for it. So what made you start this 18 years ago?
One of the ladies at the shelter that we had, she said to me, she said, Miss Joyce, if I had a safe place to go, I wouldn't go back to my abuser. And that she had 4 kids, and she had nowhere to go. So what happened over a year's time, she kept coming back to Miss Joyce, are we gonna have a safe place to go? Are we gonna have a safe place to go? So that led me into looking at this. That's not what I wanted to do, but it led me into looking into this and being able to see that it was doable. So just opening up the doors, finding a building and opening up the doors. That was the hardest thing, but the community has rallied. So it's just been, in these 18 years, it's just been one whirlwind after another, but it's been a joy because my passion, they see.
And you're able to change people's lives too.
What you realize is that 70% of the ladies who come to Naomi don't go back to their abusers. So that presents a great problem that we can solve. And giving them the courage and the encouragement and to be able to look at what they can do for themselves as opposed to depending on somebody else.
And there are other ways to support the Naomi Project too, whether it be donations. So what can people donate? What can people do to help out?
Well, for the Naomi Project, finances is always a great issue to have. But what we do is we take anything that you use that ladies can use, because at the end of when they get ready to leave, realize that they don't have anything to get into their own apartment, which is a part of our program, helping them to do that. So once you give them a dining room table or a couch or sheets and pillowcases or hygiene kits, these things they can use and not have to start from the ground up when they get ready to go into their own place. And that's more encouragement and giving them more support that they can use to be able to know that they can do this on their own.
I love it. Well, before we go, will you tell me, what has it been like over the last 18 years being able to watch these women thrive once they leave the Naomi Project?
One thing about it is that I never lose a lot of them. They still depend on a lot on things that they need. So by me getting donations in on a regular basis, and we're an all volunteer organization, so we don't have any paid staff. So having volunteers to come and having a lot of supplies that these ladies can come and get on a regular basis that I do. I still help those who are in their own apartments and are able to sustain them, just to be able to, and helping them even with paying bills. Sometimes they get down short. And Naomi Project comes to that and helps them out to be able to stay where they are and to maintain and to give them that encouragement that someone has their back.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.